All right, guys. Sean, you like Coca-Cola?
Yeah, I do.
Coke Zero?
Yeah, Coke Zero.
Yeah, Coke Zero's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Way better than Diet Coke. Uh, yeah, way better than Diet Pepsi too. Like,
Yeah.
this we're there already.
Are you a Coke guy or a Pepsi guy?
A Coke guy, definitely.
Oh,
Yeah, Coke Zero, definitely. Yeah. I know you study a lot about it because of Warren Buffett.
yeah, it's his favorite stock, I think.
Yeah, he always references it. Look at it. This map doesn't even like how far back it goes.
Would what were you saying earlier? If you had invested
Yeah, if you
ten
look at the
thousand
math,
bucks,
if you bought, let's just say $10,000 worth of these shares, so it would have been just say 10,000 shares exactly, including the dividends, and you reinvested the dividends every time you got it throughout all these years. I think it's close to you should have been a millionaire.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
It's
so
crazy.
it's crazy to think because I mean that's one of the purposes of the show is to I guess it just I know it's become real for us to like when you start thinking about that, whether it's 10,000, 1,000, or $100, eventually, like with one of these stocks, we hope for it to be the Coca-Cola and it to be one of the retirement plans. Like it's just maybe it's not a million, but maybe it's 100, maybe it's just 50,000, whatever it is. It's not gonna be a bad thing when you get one of these Coca-Colas, especially like right here.
Yeah, I
So
mean, well, that's the goal. But I mean, it makes you wonder what are they how much more do they have to give? I mean, how much more room does it have to go? I mean, I know they pulled out of Russia,
yeah,
right? And they're having their Russian ripoff of Coca-Cola that they're selling there now. And
yeah.
then they're working on ramping up production in India,
But I
which
mean,
is
if you
good.
look at all these companies where it's at, it's hard to figure out another product that has just as much
Oh yeah, global
balances the world.
presence.
Yeah, like not even banks have this. Like, be surprised to find a bank that has like a quarter of it. And Coca Cola, I think it's up there with like the Mastercards and the Visas of the world.
Yeah, and one of the things I've read, the reason why Warren Buffett loves this stock, uh, in part, well, there's a number of reasons, but they're not doing a lot of research and development, you know, R&D and these kind of expenditures weigh on the bottom line,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah,
if you can clear out those expenses and just continually make money, I mean, they could coast and do nothing and they will still make, I mean, they could do no expansions. I mean, no, nothing like that. And they will make money. They will make a lot of fucking money.
yeah. So they um they definitely just they buy up companies, right? Like Minute Maid, uh Costa Coffee. I'm looking at. So they just wait for somebody else to invent the product and you have them use their own R&D. Uh, so yeah,
So the only problem, I guess my main issue with, someone like Warren Buffett going in and buying up tons of Coca-Cola stock and buying every dip and never selling it is that I guess the analogy would be, you and I have talked about this. Like basically, it's going to be hard to do that for a normal person. Like Warren Buffett can get away with that and never sell it and never pay a dime in tax. But like, how are normal people going to make a lot of money on Coca-Cola?
now
Yeah.
no, I think that's the point that I originally was trying to bring out was that we're like okay, so I guess the answer is no. You wouldn't put 1,000 on Coca-Cola right now.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not going anywhere. They're going to keep making money no matter what they do. Like I said, they could be on autopilot and just continue to make money. But did we buy in too late and Warren Buffett had it right back in the 80s? And
Yeah, so the thing is that you want to get another company, the Coca-Cola of now.
right.
They're definitely out there. There's a Coca.
I mean,
It doesn't have to be a drink product. It could be something else.
I could see myself owning this as part of like an index fund or an ETF that holds it, but I don't know that I would buy it directly. I mean, price earnings ratio is about 25. But historically, that's on the middle end of where they're at usually.
Yeah.
Even though it seems a little, pricey, but they're Coca-Cola, so they, it's different metrics.
This is, I mean, I just like looking at this, and it's a beautiful stock. Like it's a very beautiful stock, especially again bought in the 80s, and this is essentially what a good retirement fund should look like.
But
like Coca-Cola wasn't going anywhere around here.
And I guess that was my point earlier, though. I mean, who can afford, other than Warren Buffett and these hedge funds, to buy here in the 80s and just never sell? Nobody, normal people can't do that. They want money for down payment on houses or retirement or weddings or their kids going to college. Like mere mortals, how do we benefit from a Coca-Cola like that? I mean, to buy it and just continue to buy the dip for 40 years and make ridiculous money like Warren Buffett has. He did that because he's Warren Buffett. He's a billionaire.
Well,
so
if you look at right here,
I don't know if it makes sense for us.
It's like 10, like even at its high, it dipped, but 10, like it's just a 10-year plan, right?
Yeah.
And again, the key is you got to keep on reinvesting the dividend yield. If you're buying jet skis with the dividends that you're getting back, then you're not gonna have $1 million. If you would invested the 10,000, you would have 610,000.
But it makes you wonder, do you think in 10 years from now we're gonna look back and this massive this most recent stock price is just gonna look like
it's gonna go back to 40?
It's gonna go up. It's gonna be 100 plus in 10 years.
10 years, yeah. But that's what I'm telling. Maybe not double, but I guess like a 20% increase. No, I guess it would be double. So $100. Is it going to be $100 in 2030? Maybe it's possible. And are you okay with that? I think that's the thing. Like you have to be okay with the highest you can get is $100. Like you got to be okay with that. Like some people that are in the last part of their retirement and they're okay with that. And they just don't want that to be probably 30 or whatever. They might be okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to hold it, obviously Warren Buffett, he's probably one of the smartest guys out there. It's not a bad idea, but maybe he was. Yeah. But regardless, I mean, I don't know if normal people can benefit from it the way he has. I mean, I just don't think most people can afford to throw their money into a stock and never cash it out, never pay tax on it, and just
look at Coca-Cola
for 40 years
as an example. Don't try and think that. Definitely don't think that this is going to replicate. Just look at it as an example of and try and find that company that Coca-Cola 40 years ago. If you're young, you got all the time in the world to wait. If you're a little older, maybe this is a good example of a company that you want to just not risk too much.
Oh yeah,
just get that dividend yield and just park it. So you got two options. Or if you came into a lot of money and you're young, this is also a good company to park it. And reinvest that dividend yield.
Yeah.
You don't have much money. This is definitely not one to gamble. This is not a company to gamble with as far as like seeing 5-10 times growth within a matter of a decade.
Yeah. But I mean, in uncertain economic times, this might be the kind of play you want to, because sometimes not losing money is gaining money.
Not losing too much money.
Sometimes not losing money is a gain. Not losing too much. When everything else is tanking and you've got Coca-Cola just chugging along doing its thing, maybe that is the play right now.
Yeah, because even in this one, it only sank. I mean, I say only, but it sank 50%.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of companies are no longer existing.
After 2008. And Buffett just bought the dip back then, and so I don't know. Would you take $1,000 and buy Coca-Cola?
No, because I'm not. Well, definitely because I would I'm looking for the Coca-Cola. I'm looking for
the next Coca-Cola.
Yeah, the Darling. Yeah. Over here, absolutely.
Yeah, I can't say I would right now either.
Would you have bought it over here? Knowing all this, just knowing.
Well,
knowing. Would you have parked 10,000, knowing that it's going to get to 260?
I mean, you could have also put it in Microsoft or IBM back in the 80s.
Yeah, but knowing right here, like I think I would. If I'm, you know, if I was gonna retire in 30 years, I would have parked it. If I was like, okay, cool. Knowing this too, knowing. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great stock, obviously. I just think that sometimes, everyone talks about Warren Buffett and his plays, and I don't know how much that it's a comparable situation for normal average investors,
oh, it's very comparable. People want to park money like and they don't want high risk. Like
yeah, that's true. That's true.
and that's exactly the same mindset again. Whether it's $1,000, 100,000, it's all relative.
And your mindset is you just rather risk more because you want to find the next Coca-Cola.
Mhm.
Fair enough.